they're done. And it's no wonder everyone avoided them like the plague.
TMZ just dropped a bomb on Blake.
Matt Damon has reportedly dropped a quiet Hollywood bomb on Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, transforming what once sounded like lighthearted cameo talk into something far more revealing. According to industry insiders, Damon's cameo in Deadpool 2 was originally written as a longer, sharper, and far more memorable sequence, a scene-stealing gag designed to let the Oscar winner riff freely and have fun alongside a friend. However, after what was described as friendly feedback from Blake Lively, large portions of the scene were suddenly removed. Sources insist the cuts had little to do with pacing or runtime and everything to do with protecting Ryan Reynolds' status as the film's undeniable centerpiece. What began as a generous favor between peers allegedly turned tense, with whispers that Reynolds pushed for more solo punchlines, while Lively, despite not being officially attached to the project, advocated trimming anything that didn't loudly reinforce Ryan is the star. Damon's team was reportedly blindsided by the changes, watching the project shift from playful collaboration to calculated brand control. By the time production wrapped, Damon was left with a drastically reduced appearance and a lingering sense of regret, quietly wondering why he ever agreed to step into a cameo that ended up feeling less like a favor and more like a power move. Rewrites reportedly landing on Matt Damon's desk just hours before cameras rolled, with jokes he had already perfected quietly deleted overnight and entire scene timings flipped without warning. What initially felt like an easy, collaborative cameo quickly turned into a rigid, take-what-you're-given situation. Insiders claim Ryan Reynolds, juggling actor, writer, and producer roles, continued refining his own material to secure the biggest laughs, while Blake Lively allegedly worked behind the scenes to ensure his spotlight remained untouched. The tension didn't stop at creative disagreements. Damon's team was reportedly pulled into frantic phone calls, last-minute contract revisions, and exhausting legal hair-splitting simply to guarantee his appearance survived the final cut. What was supposed to be a one-day favor evolved into a political maze. Crew members describe a noticeable shift on set, from loose, chaotic fun to a quiet Cold War, so uncomfortable that some exhausted stagehands allegedly ducked out early just to avoid the fallout. Now, with Damon's name quietly circulating through the rumor mill, what began as a good-natured gesture has transformed into a cautionary Hollywood tale about ego, marital influence, and power dynamics, with one A-lister learning too late that in the Deadpool sandbox, there may only be room for one merc with a mouse. Industry insiders are left wondering whether concrete receipts will ever surface, or if this clash will remain a whispered legend echoing through studio corridors forever.
A shit about this Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds lawsuit feud saga, but I do find it funny that now the actor is accusing the couple of using Deadpool and Wolverine to bully him, and he
Remember Deadpool 2, the wildly anarchic superhero sequel where the cameos were almost more chaotic than the plot itself? In a rapid blink-and-you-miss-it parade of surprises, Brad Pitt appeared on screen for barely half a second. Alan Tudyk popped up so quickly audiences hardly registered him, and Matt Damon vanished beneath layers of heavy prosthetics in a grotesquely funny bathroom gag that left fans laughing and slightly confused. What was intended to be a playful Easter egg, an A-list actor doing a quick favor for fun, quietly spiraled into a tense behind-the-scenes struggle. Insiders claim Damon arrived expecting a breezy one-day shoot, only to discover that Ryan Reynolds, wearing the combined hats of lead actor, co-writer, and producer, was determined to maintain absolute control over every beat of the moment, from each joke to every pause and audience reaction. Blake Lively, despite not appearing anywhere on the official call sheet, was reportedly still very much in the creative orbit, adding to the pressure surrounding the cameo. What should have been a harmless laugh became a tightly managed operation, hinting that even the smallest moments in the Deadpool universe weren't immune to power plays and carefully guarded spotlights. The script was allegedly being influenced from the sidelines as well, with Blake Lively stepping in to protect her husband's comedic crown, turning what should have been a light-hearted stunt cameo into a full-scale power contest that left Matt Damon caught squarely in the crossfire. Tensions reportedly escalated as rewrites piled up, with Damon's appearance shrinking, expanding, then shrinking again, depending on which draft arrived on set that morning. When he learned, without warning, that his lines had once again been pared down, witnesses claim Damon finally snapped. Crew members say they watched a Hollywood heavyweight shift from polite confusion to a full "what the hell is this" eruption, complete with slammed doors and a rapid-fire call to his agent. Rumor has it several crew members quietly clocked out early just to avoid being anywhere near the fallout. Behind the scenes, angry voicemails allegedly circulated, with sources claiming Damon left blistering messages for Ryan Reynolds, accusing him of disrespect and career meddling, while also throwing pointed shade at Blake Lively for manipulating the creative process. Word quickly spread that Lively herself had marched onto set uninvited, confronted the director, and demanded the cameo be reshaped to publicly spotlight her husband's signature snark. Little of this chaos made it into official reports, but fans later began dissecting Damon's Deadpool 2 press appearances, noting his carefully chosen words and visible discomfort whenever the cameo was mentioned, fueling speculation that the tension ran far deeper than anyone initially admitted. When asked about the film during press appearances, Damon reportedly offered clipped, noticeably chilly responses, quickly changing the subject behind a practiced smile that fooled no one. Gone was the easy charm fans expected. In its place lingered the unmistakable energy of a man nursing a grudge and counting down the seconds until the interview wrapped. Online forums soon went into full detective mode, pointing out how Damon's character, dubbed Redneck Number 2, appeared to lose several punchlines that had been teased in early marketing leaks. Reddit threads compared set visit write-ups with the finished Blu-ray release, flagging missing exchanges, altered camera angles, and abrupt cuts that conveniently appeared whenever Damon spoke for more than a sentence. Industry blogs eventually amplified the chatter, framing the cameo controversy as yet another example of Ryan Reynolds' laser-focused brand control, paired with Blake Lively's rumored behind-the-scenes assertiveness. Quiet influence operating beneath the laughter, fourth wall breaks, and self-aware winks. Deadpool 2 increasingly looked less like a collaborative playground and more like Reynolds' personal sandbox, where everyone else was expected to follow his rules. Damon, a star accustomed to leading roles and mutual respect, found himself sidelined, his goodwill tested. What should have been an effortless, fun cameo instead became a masterclass in Hollywood politics, ego clashing with star power, spouses crossing creative boundaries, scripts rewritten on the fly, and a once friendly favor dissolving into icy silence by the time the credits finally rolled.
Waiting on the amended lawsuit from Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. They're supposed to be adding names or evidence, who knows, but it's supposed to.
Matt Damon reportedly agreed to appear in Deadpool 2 as a quick, low-key favor, what was supposed to be a harmless 10-minute lark that ultimately ballooned into a full-blown Hollywood headache. The Oscar winner arrived on set buried beneath heavy prosthetic layers, virtually unrecognizable on camera, yet impossible to ignore behind the scenes, only to realize that the environment was less a playful cameo space and more a tightly controlled kingdom overseen by Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds, who was simultaneously starring in, co-writing, and producing the film, allegedly exercised near total authority over the production. One assistant reportedly joked that nothing moved without Ryan's okay, explaining that every gag, prop, camera angle, and pause had to serve the leading man's carefully curated image. What initially felt like a friendly collaboration soon revealed itself to be rigid and political. The real blow, however, came during post-production, when Damon allegedly discovered that several of his lines had quietly vanished, moments had been reshaped, and the rhythm of his scene had been altered without warning. What began as a casual favor between peers slowly transformed into a lesson in modern Hollywood power dynamics, where even an A-list actor could find himself edited down, sidelined, and reminded that in the Deadpool universe, creative freedom ultimately bends to brand control. Reaction shots were reportedly trimmed down, and Damon's once punchy comedic beat was quietly shuffled toward the film's midpoint, an anonymous stretch where most viewers would never clock who he was beneath the makeup. Blindsided by the changes, Damon allegedly confided to friends that it felt like watching goodwill get carved up for someone else's vanity project. Meanwhile, Blake Lively was frequently spotted perched beside the monitors, openly offering opinions despite reportedly admitting she had never read a single panel of the Deadpool comics. Crew members whispered that the couple were fiercely guarding their shared brand, even if it came at the expense of every guest appearance. Insiders claim Damon wasn't the only casualty of this mindset either. Brad Pitt's Blink and You Miss It cameo, initially pitched as a playful fourth-wall gag, was also subjected to last-minute constraints, abrupt scheduling shifts, and tight creative limits designed to ensure no surprise moment outshined the star himself. What was marketed as a chaotic celebration of celebrity cameos increasingly looked, behind the scenes, like a carefully fenced playground where visitors were welcome, but only so long as they knew their place. Strategic lighting, tight framing, and blink and you miss it edits reportedly reduced what could have been a crowd-pleasing moment into a literal flash and it's gone zap, and even jokes at craft services about Brad Pitt's two-day ripple through the trailers became quiet proofs that no cameo was safe once laughter threatened to drift away from Ryan Reynolds. Veterans on set allegedly referred to the routine as brand policing, a polite industry euphemism for ego dominating the edit bay. As tension mounted, the Reynolds Lively PR machine reportedly snapped into overdrive. Instagram suddenly flooded with wholesome family selfies, witty parenting captions, and carefully filtered anecdotes designed to drown out whispers of on-set friction. Overnight, algorithm-friendly posts about diaper duty and playful marriage roasting replaced murmurs of bruised egos and creative clashes. Yet Matt Damon's disappointment still seeped through. Off the record, he allegedly described the shoot as a charm offensive masking total creative control, and when early conversations about Deadpool 3 began, he quietly declined another cameo. The official excuse, scheduling conflicts, fooled no one. His exit became a neon warning sign across Hollywood. Agents reportedly began inserting tougher language into cameo contracts, demanding minimum screen time, locked dialogue, or even final cut protections. Directors, wary of brand collisions, started limiting guest appearances to avoid turning a breezy day's work into weeks of legal wrangling. Even Hugh Jackman, Reynolds' longtime friend turned friendly rival, is said to now insist on reviewing locked drafts before lending his clause. Studio councils, sensing the shift, have reportedly begun redrawing producer authority clauses to prevent any single star from throttling every joke in post-production. The fallout continues to simmer, whispered about in coffee shops by below-the-line crew, and quietly debated through agency back channels. Now, every cameo offer landing on an actor's desk carries a newly urgent question. Is this a genuine laugh or someone else's branding exercise? Studios may still chase star power, but after this episode, they're also chasing insurance against unchecked, ego-driven edits, and the industry has taken notice.